So, hello everyone. I'll be doing a review of the Sunvision display compared to an ordinary LCD. So, right now I am in a dark room with two light bulbs, which you actually can see in the reflection of the screen right there. They are not visible when I sit in front of the screen though. They are at 100% brightness, which is 1100 lumen, and the colors are more washed out than on the LCD. You can already see that the top is brighter than the bottom on the display. Also, my camera picks up the image a bit brighter than it actually is. I might try to edit it, but I do have to say, with this setup in a dark room, the room itself is way too bright for me compared to the display. And honestly, I really notice more eye strain or eye pain than with an ordinary LCD compared to this setup actually. And I've noticed a similar pain to last year's summer when it was like really bright outside and I actually had to build myself some blinders because it was just really painful with that bright light from outside. I do have my monitors on a very low brightness, so there you have again the contrast comparison. We have really bright light outside and a low brightness monitor, which right here is the same. We have a really bright room and a low brightness monitor. So here's another comparison with sunlight. Right now it's a cloudy day with occasional sunlight. So the light is coming from the right side of the window right now. I have an east facing window, a bit north but mostly east, and I have a roof window. So the monitor is not as bright as with artificial lights. And my thought with this monitor was I have a roof window, so much light is coming from above, and if I angle the monitor in the right way, it's reflecting right onto me, which is not really the case because the most light is actually coming from the sun, even though my monitor or the window is above the monitor. And again, the top is brighter than the bottom. So here you can see my window, and on the top of that the two light bulbs. I put two blinders on them because that would irritate me as well, I've noticed. Again, the sun is coming from the right, and in my opinion the image of the SVD is still very washed out. Like the contrast is not as good. You can actually see it in the video. Also, the artifacts visible on the LCD are because of the camera. I've also experimented with mirrors actually below my monitor because it just happened that I had one laying around, and obviously if you're thinking the SVD is reflective, mirrors are reflective, so bringing more light from the mirrors onto the display might help. And I did try it with sunlight and with artificial light. It actually does help a lot, but again, the monitor is still not bright enough, in my opinion. Like bright enough to out-bright the room, essentially. I've also tested the monitor outside in actual sunlight, because why not just do that when you have the opportunity to try this out. So I had two positions where I've been trying the monitor. One where the sun was coming from the left and behind it, basically. And the other position was when the light was behind me, so directly pointing at the monitor. And actually outside the monitor is very bright and more usable than inside, but still for me not usable enough, unfortunately. So in summary, the monitor for me works better with artificial light, but the room is too bright compared to the monitor, and that causes eye pain for me personally. So a few days later, I've purchased a new monitor, the Gigabyte M28U, which is a 4K IPS 144Hz monitor, 28 inches. I've came to the conclusion that my issues are more related to contrast between the monitor and the light in my room or coming from my window. So yeah, after I've purchased that monitor, I've built my same setup as usual, where I have just two monitors with artificial lights behind, and I've also put the two blinders on my monitors as well, which are just custom built carton stuff. I've also put down my shutters so that I actually don't see any visible light like this. So from my view, it's like this. I don't see any direct sunlight right now, and I have to say it's very pleasant, or it's more pleasant than without the blinders. I've tried it, heightening up the brightness on my monitor, but if I do that, the reflections on the monitor itself are just getting too much for me to enjoy it. And as well, looking at a rather close distance for a very long amount of time, which how I would explain it myself. Imagine you're going to the gym and you do bicep curls, and you randomly stop at any point in the movement and just hold it. And after some time, your arm hurts. And I think that's the same with the eyes, because you're focusing on the same distance for a very long amount of time, and thus your muscles need to hold the same positions during that time. So what I've tried the past few days is eye exercises, and I did like 10 minutes a day following a simple video, and after the exercises I really felt my eye muscles compared to when you go weightlifting and you feel your muscles a day after. And I think for me personally, the solution actually is to strengthen my eyes to withstand those long periods of just staring at a screen. And yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. I will return this monitor, stick with the setup that I have right now, do some eye exercises, and yeah, maybe I'll do an update video, but that should be it. See you in the next one.